You are now listening to the Outsiders Sports Show, the most comprehensive and hard-hitting sports hour on radio today. And now, coming at you with their unabashed sports magnetism, here are your hosts, Clint Schweitzer and Noah Groniger.
And welcome to the Outsider Sports Show. Clint Schweitzer flying solo today, normally joined, of course, by my co-host Noah Groniger, who is out today, but that's okay because I've got a great guest coming up. We're going to be talking all things Mizzou football in the 2013 season that was, and our guest today is going to be Henry Josey, who just recently in the last couple of weeks has announced that he will forego his senior season at Missouri and take his talents to the NFL, and we just wish Henry the best. What a great story it's been for him. Cannot wait to talk to Henry and follow up with him. Of course, he did the wonderful piece with ESPN that aired on College Game Day, the day that Missouri played in the SEC championship game, and they were able to do this wonderful piece on Henry and talk to him about his recovery and his injury and the significance of the injury, which is to this day one of the worst knee injuries you will ever see. And we're going to talk to him about that, about his bounce back season, about going to the NFL, and about the future of the Mizzou Tigers, because I know if anybody knows these teammates, it's going to be Henry. So we're going to definitely be looking forward to talking with Henry Josey coming up. But as we look back on this 2013 season, of course, many people were predicting 6, 7, 8 wins, kind of tops for this team as the season got underway. People not really sure what to think after 2012, which was such a disaster, and we saw the injuries. We saw the offensive line just diminished with injury, and we saw James Franklin in 2012 go down. And in 2013, we would experience that again with Franklin going down with a shoulder injury in the middle of the Georgia game. But Missouri, as you look back on it, of course, you can look at things and say, Missouri was a game away from playing in the BCS championship game, and they were. Had they knocked off Auburn in Atlanta, they would have been playing Florida State for the BCS championship. But I think you can look at this season, and there's no way to look at it other than to say it was an amazing, one of the best seasons in school history. Especially, like we said, coming off the 2012, which is so questionable. People saying, Missouri can't compete in this conference, that they're an also-ran, another name on the schedule, in a geographical location that people, in the Midwest, that people aren't just going to care about in the South. Well, Missouri was able to turn a lot of heads this year. The comeback story of the year for sure, as Missouri goes from 5-7 and 2-6 in the league to 12-2 and SEC East champions, 7-1 in the league. And as you look back on it, the SEC, a lot of people are going to say maybe it was down in 2013. We saw Georgia experience a lot of ups and downs with regards to injuries on their team, and Missouri was able to take advantage of it when they went in October to Athens and won at Georgia, a game that nobody thought Missouri was going to be able to win, and they did that. Of course, the lone loss during the regular season was the overtime defeat to South Carolina, which was crushing, but Missouri was able to rebound from that with an injured James Franklin. Missouri on the heels of a guy like Henry Josey and Matty Mock, who stepped in at quarterback and played so well for this team. But it was really Missouri's defense that continued to make play after play for this team. Guys like Michael Sam, Andrew Wilson had a tremendous season as a senior. Coney Ely, Kentrell Brothers, E.J. Gaines, of course, coming out. I mean, this was a defense that really showed up in every game. Obviously, with the exception being the Auburn game, when you talk about giving up 600 yards rushing and 300 on the ground to Trey Mason, and that was certainly a defensive disaster for Missouri because Missouri scored 42 points in the SEC championship game, but still wound up losing by 17. And it was clear there was one player that was absolutely back in 2013 to prove himself, to get back to where he was, and that's Henry Josey, and we are going to go ahead and speak to him right now. And right here on the Outsider Sports Show, Clint Schweitzer being joined by Henry Josey, Missouri running back who has just declared for the NFL draft. Henry, how's everything going? What a tremendous season. I don't even know where to start. What a great season, my man.
Yeah, everything's going great. It was a tremendous season, and it was a blessing just to be able to be a part of it and just celebrate it with my teammates like we did this year.
I mean, how does this feel for you? I mean, everybody knows the story going back 2 years, one of the most devastating knee injuries, and I don't think people really have a good sense of just how bad it was for you. Of course, you recently did for College Game Day, did the ESPN piece. What was that like, talking to ESPN and really going into the story of your injury?
It was hard to talk about. It was very emotional, and it's just great to be able to do that and just help so many people out just by hearing me and actually me just being so honest about everything and just putting all my feelings into it. It was a hard story to do, but it was just a great feeling to be able to help somebody out with.
Well, I'll tell you what, was there a moment in this season, it may have been in the first game against Murray State, but was there a moment where you made a run or made a play where you said, okay, I'm fine, I'm good, I can do this, it's all good? Did that come early on in the first game, or did it take a few games to get used to?
It came on at the first part of the game because our practices are way harder than the game is. So just coming off of practice and being able to play was just exciting. It was something I couldn't wait to do. And at the time, I just had to be patient and everything. I know everybody's worried about me going to score a touchdown, but that moment I was just trying to get back into the groove of things again.
Well, it was such a great comeback season. Of course, Missouri, in 2012, you guys 5-7, the year that you were unable to play due to injury, and all the talk about Missouri unable to compete in this conference. You talk about answering the bell. Missouri, you guys come out, go 12-2, win the SEC East. Talk about what it was like, for you, for your teammates, going through this battle. I mean, of course, quarterback James Franklin gets hurt in the middle of the season. You have to weather that storm. What was it like going through this season? And as the success began to build, just kind of what you guys were feeling as teammates, because it had to be very special.
It was a very, very special season. It was a very important season. I mean, as a whole, we wanted to turn the program back around. That was the main focus, is just getting Mizzou back to its winning atmosphere. And that was just the main focus of the whole year. We just kept telling ourselves that we are not done yet. And everybody was just staying humble to what we wanted to get accomplished as a team. I mean, as hard as it was just such a great feeling for everybody to be on the same page and just in that winning atmosphere. And that's what we did. We just turned the whole program back around. I know so many people are proud of us, and we're proud of ourselves, too.
Well, I tell you what, the fans really embraced you, of course, and I'm sure you've got lots of stories about different, the ways fans treated you while you were injured, but when you came back and had such a good season, I mean, they really embraced you. I think there was a moment against Florida where you kind of got dinged up and went down, and people were literally it was silent in the stadium. Henry, I was there. I was silent as well. And when you got up, I mean, just the ovation. I've never seen anything like it. That had to just be a special feeling for you.
Yeah, it was a special feeling. I mean, it was a crazy feeling, too, because you see how many people that you've actually touched. And that's over 70,000, 60,000 people that are there. And just for all of them to be quiet just because you went down is just, I don't even know the feeling. I mean, it was just, I couldn't even take it all in at the time, but I was kind of focusing on trying to just relax and get back up. And I got a little excited about everything that was happening, and I was trying to stay focused throughout that.
Well, I've got to bring up, of course, our good friends. We've had Will Ebner on the show before, and such good friends with Elaine and the Ebner family. And I know that they were definitely there for you during this tough time. Just kind of, I wanted to get your thoughts on Elaine, on Will, that on the Ebner family, and kind of, how they were there for you during this time. Because I know, we've talked to Will about how you guys kind of became inseparable during the injury.
Oh yeah, I mean, Will and his family did an amazing job of just coming in and taking control and just helping me out any way they could. I had called his mom and asked her to come back because I knew I needed help, and I thought my parents were going to go home, but they ended up staying too longer. So, I mean, that was all good and great help happening. And I just came a part of their family even more through that injury and everything that I went through, and they just pretty much adopted me. It's like a crazy feeling.
Well, they needed. They can never have too many sons. They've got enough football players in that family. They've definitely got you. They obviously care a lot about you, and as we all do here in the Mizzou family. And I'm sure that the injury that occurred to you and the great season that you had. I mean, over 1,100 yards, 16 touchdowns, and I mean, Henry, let's face it. Like, you started this season down on the depth chart. You were not number one on the depth chart to start this season. What did it feel like as the games piled up, as the wins kept coming, that you elevated your game? You were number one on that depth chart. You were the go-to guy as the season progressed. That had to be just a tremendous feeling.
You prepare yourself for that, and that's something that, I mean, I've had to take a big role in. A lot of those guys look up to me as somebody that gets the team going, and is that player that they rely on when they need something done. And, I mean, I just had to stay patient. I had two guys behind me that pushed me hard as I could go every day because they were two great running backs also. And that's something that just pushed me even harder to keep going and just try to get better. I mean, I had to get better. I had to get control of everything. And then the patience part of it was probably the biggest thing of everything, just being patient with everything. and everything worked out the way it was supposed to, and God's plan.
Well, you became the 5th leading rusher in the SEC this season. Just a great cap for your career, of course, declaring for the NFL draft. What kind of a decision was that for you to go ahead and forego your senior season and to head into the NFL? Was it a tough choice, or was it something you look back on and you go, hey, I've had this injury, I battled back, this is my time to take my game to the next level, and was it as simple as that?
It was a very difficult decision. I mean, there's so many things you can think about, but then just the main thing was just, hey, I'm at the top of my game. I've gotten back to where I want to be now, and I mean, I'm just blessed to be in this position, and I'm ready to take my game to the next level and see what I can do there also. I mean, I was happy with this season, happy with my coaches and everyone. I mean, it's a hard decision. My coaches talked about it forever. I mean, it's just time for me to go.
Absolutely, and everybody's definitely rooting for you. I mean, have you got any feedback as far as what kind of round maybe you'd be expected to go in, or what kind of running back do you think you can be at the next level on top of that?
I mean, I could be the same type running back I was at Mizzou, and then even more. I'm an every down back. I mean, the main thing is just getting ready for all the pro days and the combine, and just getting myself together. I mean, learning how to do the drills, getting my body prepared. There's just a whole bunch to it. There's a whole lot to think about, and I just don't even like to worry about it. I just like to show up and keep working every day. And that's the thing. I got to show up and show the staff that I still have everything that I've shown this year, and I'm still progressing like I want to.
No doubt. And there's been a lot of us since you made the announcement. Of course, our radio show here, The Outsiders, is in Kansas City, and a lot of us talking like, especially during the Chiefs playoff game when all of our running backs got hurt. Man, it would be nice to have a guy like Henry Josey out there. So you never know, Kansas City or whatever place you wind up at, we will definitely be watching, definitely be cheering for you, Henry. And before we let you go, we got to go back to your final game of your career, the Cotton Bowl, a game where you rushed for 93 yards, 3 touchdowns. Really, you were the catalyst for that offense during a game where, let's face it, the passing game just wasn't there. You had 3 touchdowns. How special was that for you in the Cotton Bowl? In Texas and Dallas, your home state, how special was that for you to be able to go out the way you did in that game?
Oh, man, it was very special. I had been preparing myself for that game since that week started. I just kept preaching to myself, I got to have a good game. I got to do this. I got to be able to pick my teammates up. And, man, just for me to be able to show up and do it the way I did, there was no better feeling than to show up and play like I did that day. And I was beyond happy. And I mean, it's a great feeling. I mean, it's just like I said, like a blessing for me just to be where I am today, and just for me to be able to perform like that and help my teammates out was also a blessing to send the seniors out the right way.
Well, this has been an unforgettable season, of course. I mean, so many of your teammates as well that were catalysts on this team. Michael Sam going out in absolute style with that sack fumble. I mean, you had to be happy for your fellow Texas boy there, Michael Sam, making the final play. You're probably watching on the sidelines. Oklahoma State's driving to win the game, and there's Michael Sam, and he's up with it, makes the strip sack, and Shane Ray takes it to the house. Had to be a great feeling.
Yeah, that's what I tell him all the time. Big players make big plays in big games, and that's what he showed up and did. And he finished that game off for us like he's done this whole year with just being a great player and a great warrior.
Well, Missouri football going forward is just in such good hands. Coach Gary Pinkel, with a great turnaround this year. And you got to play with both quarterbacks this year, Matty Mock and James Franklin. And I know you built a lot of rapport with James Franklin. But Matty Mock came in, did a wonderful job. How do you like his prospects going forward? Because I tell you what, James Franklin's career ends. Very good comeback season for him. But Matty Mock looks like the real deal going forward. How do you feel about Matty taking over this team in 2014?
Oh, Matty's going to do great, man. I mean, Matty's somebody that I've talked to, I've preached to. I taught everything I could to the guy before I left because I wanted him to do so great and just be such a great player. And that's what he did as a player, and I'm really proud of him. Can't wait to see things that he's going to get done.
Well, Henry,
he's going to be a great quarterback, too.
Yes, absolutely. What a great finish to the season for him, and just stepping in very tough shoes as James Franklin had a great start to the season. But, Henry, I tell you what, we cannot thank you enough for joining us here on the Outsider Sports Show. We're going to be watching. We're going to be cheering for you. Going to be praying for you all the way through as we have through this whole process. Certainly one of, just what you've done, what you've been through here. All of us here in the Mizzou family, we want to say thank you and best of luck going forward because we're going to be cheering for you every step of the way, my man.
All right, I appreciate it a lot.
All right, Henry, will you take care, and we'll be watching here come April, buddy. Good luck, and we'll be cheering.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.